If you watch the Premier League today, the game moves at an absolute blur. The ball zips through tight triangles, defenders are pulled out of position in seconds, and teams are suffocated before they even cross the halfway line. The architect behind this modern rhythm is Pep Guardiola. Following 4 consecutive Premier League titles, he holds the #1 spot in global managerial rankings. This chart outlines exactly what his peak dominance looks like. In the 2017-18 season, his City squad broke 7 domestic records. They hit exactly 100 points, scored 106 goals, and racked up 32 wins. Those numbers look like the resume of the greatest manager in history. But in the soccer world, those statistics come with a massive asterisk. People constantly ask if his success is genuine tactical mastery or a byproduct of his environment. Guardiola has only ever managed elite institutions. He went from Barcelona to Bayern Munich and then to a state-backed juggernaut in Manchester City. He has never had to operate on a tight transfer budget. When your financial inputs are virtually limitless, every trophy you win is heavily scrutinized. We have to figure out if his tactical genius actually matches the size of his club's bank account. Former City midfielder Dietmar Hamann points out that Guardiola stepped into a Barcelona squad that already had the best players on earth, and joined City specifically to spend massive amounts of money. This is the traditionalist view of managerial greatness. To be considered the absolute best, you have to prove you can win when the odds are stacked against you. You have to take a lesser squad and elevate them through sheer strategy. Jose Mourinho achieved this in 2004. He took Porto, a club operating on a fraction of the budget of Europe's giants, and won the Champions League. That underdog victory instantly validated his tactical credentials. Guardiola chose a different path. He traded the chance to build an underdog narrative for the guarantee of managing elite talent that could execute his incredibly demanding system. So to figure out where he truly ranks, we can't look at underdog stories. We have to weigh his pure tactical outputs against the 2 biggest legends of the game, Arrigo Sacchi and Sir Alex Ferguson. Evaluating the greatest of all time means deciding if aesthetic perfection on the pitch matters more than the grit to win with a smaller club. Arrigo Sacchi set the historical benchmark for tactical innovation. In the late 80s, his rigid 4-4-2 system at AC Milan introduced synchronized defensive pressing to a highly physical era of Italian football. Guardiola flipped that focus from defense to total offense. He brought Johan Cruyff's philosophy to the modern game, creating a system known as positional play, or juego de posición. Look at this training pitch diagram. Guardiola divides the field into 20 specific zones. His system focuses heavily on exploiting the interior channels, those red areas between the opposition's fullbacks and center backs. The system demands strict geographic rules. As seen here, no more than 3 players can occupy the same horizontal line at once. If a 4th player moves in, someone else drops off. This constant rotation stretches the defense and opens diagonal passing lanes. To make this work, he utilizes the inverted fullback. Instead of running down the touchline, a defender tucks inside to act as an extra central midfield player, reshaping the entire team into a 2-3-2-3 formation. The ultimate goal is total ball monopoly. By overloading the midfield and constantly moving the opponent rather than the ball, traditional pressing tactics become largely useless. But you cannot execute this with average players.
The system collapses if you don't have center backs and a goalkeeper who are entirely comfortable passing out of extreme pressure. Those hyper-technical players cost a massive premium. Guardiola used that massive budget to force every other elite team to adapt to his possession-heavy style. His offensive revolution matches and arguably surpasses Sacchi's defensive innovations in shaping how the sport is played globally. If Sacchi is the tactical benchmark, Sir Alex Ferguson is the standard for longevity. He spent over 2 decades at Manchester United, constantly rebuilding his squads to keep them competitive year after year. Ferguson rarely relied on strict geometric tactical systems. He won through psychological dominance, brilliant man management, and an intense ability to motivate his players. Guardiola operates on the opposite end of the spectrum. His coaching style is incredibly demanding.
The mental toll of his instructions means his average tenure at a club hovers around just 4.5 years. When you weigh their direct outputs, the contrast is fascinating.
Ferguson boasts an incredible 13 Premier League titles over a long timeline, but Guardiola routinely posts higher peak point totals, hitting 100 points, and holds superior head-to-head win percentages against elite peers. To sustain that high-intensity system without his squad burning out, Guardiola requires constant, expensive roster rotation. That methodology yields the highest peak performance in football history. He has executed multiple treble-winning seasons across different leagues by pushing his players to absolute tactical perfection. Ultimately, Ferguson proved to be the greatest manager of a club's culture. Guardiola is the greatest manager of a highly specific, high-yield system. We have to look directly at the financial allegations. The Premier League has leveled 115 charges against Manchester City regarding rule breaches and financial fair play. Beyond the finances, the era itself benefits him. Modern synthetic soccer balls move faster, and strict modern offside rules make it incredibly difficult to run aggressive high defensive lines older generations relied on. These rule changes heavily favor proactive, attacking play over deep defensive setups. Combined with a massive club budget, Guardiola operates with a massive structural tailwind. However, there is a hard line between front office accounting and sideline instruction. The manager's job is to organize the 11 players on the grass. You can acknowledge massive financial advantages while still recognizing the intricate geometric structures the manager successfully teaches his squad week in and week out. Let's put this into a framework of longevity, resource efficiency, peak dominance, and tactical influence. Building a dynasty on a budget points to Ferguson or Mourinho, but on the tactical whiteboard, Guardiola sweeps peak dominance and tactical influence, outputting the highest metrics. Infinite money buys the best players, but cash doesn't program a team to hit 100 points. A bank account didn't invent the inverted fullback. The title goes to the manager who took the absolute highest inputs available and translated them into the most untouchable historical outputs. He might not be the greatest underdog, he didn't build a team from scraps, but Pep Guardiola is the greatest tactician and output generator in football history. By dominating his elite peers head-to-head and securing domestic trebles in multiple countries, he has proven his methods work at the absolute highest level. Guardiola's legacy is a specific positional geometry that has become the tactical standard for elite teams across the globe.